A special guest today is Irish singer-songwriter Mr. Enda Keegan. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, but just relaxing here in New Jersey.
I want to say Irish singer-songwriter. You're actually Irish-American now, right? Because you're U.S. citizen now, right?
I'm a citizen, but I'm always Irish. I'll tell you that, man.
Of course, you have, yeah. How
Yeah,
long?
no, I just got to vote in my first election. So it's
You
good.
did?
Yes.
Okay, I won't ask you who you vote for. We won't go down that road.
Wait, we don't have to.
Okay,
Okay.
how long have you been in America now?
I have been in the States 32 years.
Wow.
Last Wednesday.
32 years? That long, right?
So it's really funny. So that the day I was supposed to come here, I go to the embassy in Dublin to get all my papers stamped, and not knowing anything, it was Martin Luther King Day, so the embassy was closed. So I went back the next day, got it stamped, and headed to the airport, and came over here.
Well, your journey from Ireland and moving to America is an interesting one. A bit of a fairy tale. How did it all start?
So it's really strange. So I've been playing music, obviously, since I was like a kid. Like, I started doing scoring and Oak in Ireland and playing. And my mom was a chef at the cook at, like, that's a big house called Castletown House. Anyone that doesn't know, it's kind of like Downton Abbey, that big estate home. So
Right.
When I was a kid, from like 12 on, I was a waiter there, and I'd go in and help out, in the house and do some stuff. So as I got older, they asked me if I wanted to play some music. So they had a party coming up, and I was over there playing piano and singing some songs. And the people that were guests there at the house that day were a couple of Americans, these people called Mr. and Mrs. Van Kennen, and played some songs for them. And next day, they come down and says, "You want to come to America? We'll pay for your college."
Wow.
And I was heading off to pick cabbage the next morning. So I was like, sure, not a problem. And I dropped out of school when I was 16. And my parents were like, the only way you're going to drop out of school is if you get another job. You can't just depend on music.
So we've all been down that road.
Yeah. I pick cabbage during the day at Irish Produce in Piltown County, Kilkenny. And
Right.
believe me, it was a job, and they were fantastic. Actually, to this day, I always remember the way they were so gracious about when I was leaving. They were like, hey, if it doesn't work out, come back. And,
really? So you stayed in their house over in the States?
Was that?
Would you staying in their house over in America?
So when I came here first, it was really strange. So I came here to go to college. I landed at Washington, D.C. So I'll tell you a funny story. So I landed in the airport. I think it's Reagan National.
Okay.
Going to land, and I'm trying to call home to Ireland. So I put money in, whatever. And then it says, you owe us 25 cents more. I had no clue. So I'm there going, oh my God, I don't have 25 cents more. I thought they were going to come arrest me. I'm like, instead of just hanging up. But came here to go to college in a place called Shenandoah University. The guy that paid for my college knew somebody there, got me in.
Yeah.
Without a high school degree. So that was the first year was a lot of fun. A lot of all-nighters trying to prove that I could actually stay in college. But I did. It was good. After the first year, I was good.
And was it in Virginia? Was it Virginia you went to college?
It was a place called Shenandoah University in Winchester, Virginia. It was a music college. And back then it was a college. And then it turned to a university like 2 years after I got in there. Really?
And you earned a Bachelor of Fine Arts and studied musical theatre, right?
Yes, and which was interesting because I had to take dance, which is... Everybody knows dance is not my thing. So musical theater, when I first got there, they were like, okay, they were like, what do you want to study? I'm like, well, it's music. So I had no clue. I was picking cabbage a week and a half before in Ireland.
Yeah.
They're like, what do you want to study? I'm like, so I started off doing classical guitar, and I'm like, I'm not good enough for classical guitar. So we left that one. Then I went to vocal performance, and that was a lot more like opera stuff. And that definitely wasn't what I wanted,
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I realized musical theater was closest what I wanted to do because it allowed me just to play music. And then I had to act, which was definitely interesting.
But I'm with you on the dancing part because, as you know, before I came here, I was on the cruise ships for 5 years and I did 3 or 4 auditions. And he said, yeah, I sang. And then he said, come back for the dance audition. I said, I'm not going to waste your time. Then I thought, I'm going to one more shot at this. So I went to Birmingham, did the audition, sang 2 songs. And he said, can you move a little bit? That's all he said. And I said, yeah. Went home, got the gig 10 days later, 2001, on a ship called a Sea Wing. And I was with all performing arts students, like dancers, and they said, I thought you said you could dance. I said, I didn't say I could dance. You asked me could I move a little bit, but I'd already signed the contract then. And bluff me way.
They always need someone in the background just to swing their hips.
Yeah, absolutely.
I I started off, and they're like, "Oh, you got ballet 101 starting next week." I'm like, "That's gonna be really funny." So
Michael Flatley.
And strangely enough, like 20-something years later, I married a ballet dancer, and professional ballet, and so Mike, she knows how much I can't dance, so now it's good.
At least you got a good teacher now, right? You can start again, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's not even worth it.
Yeah, and you got little Logan now as well. Your little boy, how old's Logan now?
I do. He's 7.
He's 7 now. Yeah, I remember when he was born.
Yeah, I mean, actually, when he was born, I decided I didn't really want to trip. Like that was when I decided I didn't really want to start traveling anymore with music.
Right.
I've done a lot of fun things, but picking him up from school and bringing him to school and seeing him is really what matters. As you grow older, you realize that those are the things that matter.
I'm with you. My daughter's 10 now. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you're a Bachelor of Fine Arts and study musical theatre. Now, I read your first gig after graduating college was as a Christmas elf at the famous Macy's store in New York City. Is that right?
It was. Well, it was a miracle. And believe me, that was Miracle on 34th Street. Yeah, I've had some really strange jobs. I was Christmas elf.
Right.
From there, it was a job. I needed,
Yeah.
like it was because of my visa, it was a certain job that I could do, which is that.
Yeah.
And then, so I did that, and then a few years later, once everything was worked out, I was the Aramis guy for Ralph Lauren.
Oh,
and,
oh really?
Remember that episode of Friends where Joey was the Aramis Ralph Lauren guy?
I don't actually, but go on.
That was me.
You were in it. You were actually in Friends doing it.
What was that?
You said you were in Friends as the...
No,
I thought you said you...
That episode of Friends when he was playing the Aramis guy.
Oh, right, okay.
That was the job I was doing when that was on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, jokes I got every day when I was like, how you doing?
So then you went on to form the band after this, Surrey Lane, right?
At the same time, I was in the band with the guys from college I went to school with.
Yeah.
And we moved to New York. We kind of did our thing. We started a band called Surrey Lane. It was me and Kevin DeHoder from Tennis Plan, New Jersey. One of my really good friends. And we started this band, and it was cool. We did a lot of touring with that. We recorded a couple of albums. And,
yeah, because you toured the USA with that band, right? Yeah. And you had a top 100 hit.
What was it? Yeah.
You had a top one. What song was that?
Some Days.
Some Days.
Yeah.
I've still got that album. Some Days. That's a good song, yeah. And also, and you had some airplay with a 9/11 tribute song, Love Must Grow.
Yeah, that was definitely a strange song. It's probably one of the most, obviously, 9/11 was crazy that it's 20 years ago this year.
I know.
And, I think that put a lot of things into perspective. I mean, I think as musicians, we have, as an outlet, you have to figure out how do you deal with stuff.
Yep.
And I think as musicians, the way we deal with stuff, we write. Or we create stuff because there's no other outlet for us. Okay. So that's, I think as all of us, what we ended up doing was we wrote the song like a couple of days, literally the day of 9/11, I just started writing it down because I'm walking around.
Yep.
And then I brought it to Kevin and the boys, and we just finished it up and created it. And we ended up playing. I have a couple of friends that created a foundation for one of their friends that passed away in 9/11, called Chris Dunn.
Right.
So we collaborated together. They actually helped us produce the song. And then an amazing producer out of New Jersey called Frank Fagnano donated his time and helped produce, record it.
Yep.
And we released it, and we sold it, and whatever we sold went to that foundation.
That was great.
Any money that's ever made from that song will go to a charity of some sort always. So.
Okay. Well, do you know what? Let's play one of your early songs. Because as you know, you've wrote some great songs, man. I've known you, for a while.
Oh, thanks, bud.
But I've always loved this song. This has always been my favourite. Who I Am.
Oh, thanks, man.
In a situation lost within the consequences of my generation, struggling with ups and downs, I'm losing my traditions, struggling ups and downs on all my inhibitions. Basically, I understand the meaning of devotion. Sure, I know what's right from wrong, it screws with my emotion. I see two roads in front of me, both into a valley. Which one should I take? Maybe not any. We haven't spoken in such a long, long time. I hope you can accept all the changes in my life. But if you're too busy now, I sure would understand. And if you get a moment to know who I am, who I am, who I am, who I am. I remember on Sunday morning, sitting at the table, you comb my hair with your hand until I was able. We would go up to Mass and spend that out together. Way back then I never realized that memories last forever. So please, one more time, show me some inspiration. The demons that I battle now are all of my creation. So many questions where I don't know the answers. I don't wanna live my life taking away so many chances. We haven't spoken in such a long, long time. I hope you can accept all the changes in my life. But if you're too busy now, I sure would understand. And if you get a moment to know who I am, who I am, who I am, who I am, who I am. We haven't spoken in such a long, long time. I hope you can accept all the changes in my life. But if you're too busy now, I sure would understand. And if you get a moment to know who I am, who I am, who I am, who I am, who I am. We haven't spoken in such a long, long time. I hope you can accept all the changes in my life.
I've always loved that song.
Oh, thanks, but I haven't heard it in a while. So.
Well, I know, it's a brilliant song. I remember that was my all-time favourite when we got you a couple of CDs. Do you know, I've known you since 2004. Yeah.
Was your Brady's?
I remember it well. No, I'll tell you what it was.
was it?
My good friend, Joel Calhoun, from back home in Liverpool, and me, we walked in O'Neill's Irish Bar on the Upper West
there
Side
we
of
go.
New
Yeah,
York.
yeah.
We were on O'Neill's, and you were performing, because I was on the cruise ships at the time. I
Sunday
I had a couple of weeks off, so I went to New York for 5 days, and my buddy Joe, he flew over from Liverpool. We had 5 days in New York, and we found that. because we round the park and round the Dakota, the Lennon thing and all that, and we found that bar, come in, and there you were playing, yeah. That was 2004, yeah.
That's where I met my wife. So many memories in that bar.
O'Reilly's. I've had some nights in there. I must tell my dad, by the way, that you're on the show. I've got to speak to him tomorrow. I will do, because we had a good time in New York with my dad as well, remember.
Actually, I have a picture of you, Brian. You know Brian?
Brian ONeill, yeah.
Your dad and me all on the couch at Rosie O'Grady's. I'll send it to you.
Oh, you have to, yeah.
It's pretty funny.
And as you know, my dad won't go out unless he's got his full suit on and his...
oh, yeah, he's like
is that
Dapper John. I love it.
Dapper John. I remember Brian saying, your dad's dapper, man.
Your dad's a great man there, Brian.
Yeah, so we saw you in O'Hurley's first, yeah? And then a couple of nights later, we saw you at a bar called the Bliss Bar. Or Bar Bliss. Do you remember that bar?
Back in the day.
I remember meeting your mum that night. Your mum was your roadie that night.
God,
she was visiting you from Ireland. What?
She still carries me on her back.
But I remember meeting her that night, yeah. I remember meeting your mum that night in the Bliss Bar. So, 2005, that's when you went solo, right? After the band?
Yeah, we did the band thing for a while, and it's so tough to keep things going.
Yeah.
I'm still friends with all those guys, and it's cool. And, just things change, and you just kind of, you figure out life, what you want to do, and, you all figure out different directions. But, you kind of make sure that you try to keep everything else as strong after that. That's the goal.
Yeah. So you just went solo and you started performing around New York when you're doing your acoustic show?
So I started playing around New York, and at the same time, I actually got to meet, through a friend of mine, this awesome producer in L.A., and Peter's name is Peter Stengard.
Okay.
And Peter's awesome. He works with Diane Warren daily, and I got some interesting. I'll tell you some stories about that in a few minutes. But so I got to head out to LA and work with Peter a bit on a couple of singles that we did, and definitely one of the highlights. I love it. It was awesome.
Tell us about the American Idol tour you did. How did that come about?
So that was fun. So it's so funny. I feel like there's those moments in your life that kind of go back to different things,
Yep.
So how this kind of worked was I was actually playing at Marty O'Brien's. Marty O'Brien's up the west side.
I'm not sure of being
Upper East Side. It was.
I do remember. O'Brien's, is that where the Pig and Whistle was and all around there?
No,
I'm thinking of different O'Brien's. Okay.
Yes, it's Marty O'Brien's. That was O'Brien's, but Marty O'Brien's all the way up in the Upper East Side.
Right.
So I was playing there one night, and this woman walked in, and she was a friend of someone I knew.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I was saying. I was singing something. She goes, "Would you ever want to go on tour?" And I'm like, "Sure." At the time, I wasn't married. Actually, I just met my wife today. We were just dating, and she was like, "I work for a company called Fremantle, and Fremantle, we actually run American Idol."
Well.
And so she was like, "I don't know if you want to do this or not, but she's like, we want to hire you to go around the country and entertain everyone that's waiting to audition." So literally, I got paid. They have a car service, pick me up at my house, drive me to the airport, and we went to 7 or 8 different cities that year. It was for the whole summer.
Yeah. And
pick me up at my house, drive me to the airport. I'd fly to whatever city. I think the first one was San Diego. Right. And I got up. They had a stage set up, and I just played my guitar all day. People got up and sang some songs. I just kind of played whatever I wanted to play. There was nothing. There was no saying, you got to do this, you got to do this. I just got up and played. And they had some karaoke for people want to sing some karaoke.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'd pack up, get to the airport, go home.
Cool little gig, though, right? Yeah.
It was awesome. Actually, at the end of it, I got engaged, so it was pretty cool.
There you go, American Idol tour. Okay, let's play another track. Let's move on to your solo album, The Bridge, New York City Morning.
So I actually wrote this about 5 days before I got married. I couldn't sleep. And we lived on 108th and Columbus, and it was right above Central Park. And I just couldn't sleep, so I was actually on the roof one day, and I just, 5 o'clock in the morning, grabbed my guitar and wrote this song.
That's a beautiful song. I remember you playing that in Rosie O'Grady's first time I heard that song.
Yeah, and that's Brian. Brian playing the keyboards on that and some guitar.
Was Brian's on that, is he? Yeah.
Yeah, Brian's on this whole album.
I spoke to him not too long ago. He called me out the blue from Ireland. He's doing these his lockdown
like
videos.
5 o'clock in the morning.
It must have been over there, yeah. Because I was like, who's this? He called me on Facebook Messenger, yeah. And he's done some cool lockdown stuff, yeah. So tell us about these LA stories.
Oh yeah, so I mean, some of the cool things. I mean, I think I think one of the most interesting. I'm trying to think what her name was. It was pretty cool. Like we'd head out to LA and just kind of met Peter and was like, I didn't know much about like LA or what it was about. I mean, I just fell in love with it right away. But I remember one time when Peter and we're like, we finished recording the song. We got into his car and we're just driving around like LA, like driving like Beverly Hills, and we're blasting the new song on the like in his car.
Yeah.
And it's just cool. We head up to the mountains, and he's somebody he was working with. Oh my God, she's passed away since then. Donna Summer, I think. Yeah.
Oh really? Okay.
And so we pull up outside the house, and Peter goes in. I hear him. There's Donna Summer singing in the house, and I'm just sitting in the car looking out over LA.
Wow.
I mean, I grew up in like in a farm, the farmland in Ireland. I'm like, this is just insane. It's just like, and it's like what's cool about Peter is like there's no like errors. He doesn't try to push it in your face. Just kind of whatever. He's just talented, amazing guy.
Yeah.
And it's there's real musicians that just doesn't care. He just wants to play for the music. It was just cool.
Yeah.
Like those are moments that I think you'll always just cherish for a lifetime.
I know.
It's just like some really cool stuff, and like it's about moments that you can remember and enjoy.
Yeah, I'm sure you got so many memories. But so, how did you come to open the show for Irish singer Finbar Fury?
I actually knew I think it was Paddy McCarthy down at Paddy put together the show. The Irish Examiner.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And so Paddy was doing the show. It was down at Nevada Smiths, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to open up for Finbar Fury?" And I was like, "Really?"
Wow.
So again, like I've just been blessed with like the people that have kind of like helped me along the way, and like that was again some people like for me it was like looking at one of your childhood heroes. I mean, I think getting back to Finbar, but I think. And just passed away lately was Liam Riley from Bagatelle.
Well, I was actually just going to say that to you. It was like because you also produced a benefit show for the NYPD Widows and Children Fund featuring Bagatelle.
Yeah, so how that happened was I was on a plane back to Ireland, and it was like a Christmas time. I had my guitar, and in Kennedy Airport, and I just get on the airplane, and I met this guy, really nice guy, and he was like, "Hey, let me help you with this," and we, end up sitting beside each other. And his name is Jim McQuillan, and he was manager of Bagatelle. Right. And we kept in contact. Yep. And over the next couple of months, we just spoke and stuff. And I had this idea because I knew Streets of New York. I mean, nobody really knew that. I found out no one really knew that Liam wrote it. Everyone was like, "Oh, the Wolf Tones sing the song. It's a great song." Mm. And I was like, we should do something to really recognize that it was Liam and Liam Riley wrote this song. So I created a benefit called the Streets of New York Music Festival. And what it was to have the guys come over and perform and make it the official song of the NYPD, which we did.
Wow.
And it was a cool moment.
It's a great achievement. That's fantastic.
Just to have these guys recognized. I mean, I think as musicians growing up, you have like your heroes. Like people have their sports heroes. People have their different heroes or local heroes. Yeah. But as musicians in Ireland or whatever, you have these heroes that are like Liam Riley. You have like, these great musicians from Ireland, Paul, all these other like people that you listen to growing up. Yeah. And to be able to say, let me try and give a little back. I mean, I didn't really do anything, but was try and put it together because I feel like they need to be recognized for what they've done and what they've given. I mean, obviously Liam gave so much to this world of music that will last for years and years to come. Yeah. For generations. It's like every song you think about, he had his hand in, like, Boston Rose, Streets of New York, Summer in Dublin, Eastern Street Lady. I mean, all these songs are classics that will be a part of Irish history forever. And I was just happy, I mean, with Ken Doyle, and just to meet those guys and get a chance to play with them a few times was just an honor, Yeah. I
was thinking of you the other night, talking about the Irish songs. As you know, I'm at Waxy O'Connor's on the Riverwalk here in San Antonio. There was a bunch of guys in the other night asked me for the Rattling Bog. And I remember you used to do that. You probably still do it. The Rattling. I'm like, I love so many Irish songs, but When you get asked for that one, that's got like 20 verses in and repeat the chorus every time the song goes
Oh
on
my
for
God!
like.
I mean, we're in the seasons of Rattenbog right now. Another 3 weeks, and I'll be like,
Yeah. Let's go to another track here. This is also from the bridge, Mary and the Soldier.
You know, it's just an old traditional Irish song, and actually the reason we chose it, I just liked it.
Okay, so this is not original, no?
Yeah, it's just an old traditional Irish song.
Let's play that now.
Come on, you lads of Irie now, but hear of a fair young maiden, as she roved out on a summer's day to view the soldiers parading. They marched so bold and they looked so gay, the colours flying and the bands that play. Caused young Mary for to say, I wed you, my gallant soldier. The soldiers on parade as they stood there at their leisure, and Mary to herself did say, at last I found my treasure. But oh, how cruel my parents must be to banish my true love away from me. Leave with them and I'll go with thee, my bold undaunted soldier. Oh, Mary, dear, your parents' love, I pray don't be unruly. But when you're in a foreign land, leave me your rule is sorely. Perhaps in battle I might fall, shot from an angry cannonball. You so far from your daddy's hall, be advised by your gallant soldier. I have 50 guineas in bright gold, likewise a heart that's bolder, and I'd leave them all to go with you, my bold undaunted soldier. So don't say no, but let me go, and I will face the darling foe. We'll march together to and fro, and I'll wed you, my gallant soldier. When he saw her loyalty and Mary true so hearted, he said, my darling, married we'll be, and nothing but death will part us. And when we're in a foreign land, I'll guard you, darling, with my right hand, in hopes that God might stand a friend to Mary and her gallant soldier.
Great job, man. Great job. Who actually played on that with you? Who's the musicians on that?
I have to admit, well, Brian was playing guitar on that also.
Okay.
With me, and then I think it's Chris Highland. I got to look at I can't remember Chris's last name, but an amazing Highland player from New York City.
Yeah.
I got to look at the back of the I can't honestly. It's been so long, a couple of years ago. I think it's Chris Highland. We brought him in. He was just amazing. He played on a few of the other tracks too. You surround yourself by great musicians, it helps.
It does, man. I know, yeah. I mean, the last album I just had some great musicians on it from Texas here. And actually had Sean Orr as a fiddle player on 2 tracks. And
nice.
He's played at the Kennedy Honours, and he lives in Austin. He played on 2 of my tracks, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was just honoured. You know, such a quiet guy. He's played with everybody, but good friend of mine. He just comes down the Riverwalk now and again from Austin. He does a lot of gigs in Austin, you know.
Yeah.
How is it now for you over in Jersey and New York regarding venues opening again for live shows?
I would say, I mean, I haven't been in New York. I haven't played in New York since March 7th. I mean, on March 7th,
really?
Every gig I have got canceled for the year. Like within a matter of an hour.
Yeah. Like
my whole booking for the whole year got canceled. And, you know, I mean, it's definitely, when that first happened, you're kind of like, wow. And then
I was the same.
You just got to figure it out. I mean, that's life. There's people that have a lot worse off. You just got to figure out what the next step is.
Well, like me, during lockdown, you played a lot of live streams online. I actually did 29 weeks of home live streams. I counted 29 weeks every Friday night. I did from home. And, you know, and as you know, I play at Waxy O'Connor's on Riverwalk, San Antonio. And we've been open here in Texas since October. And, you know, all the management and staff are doing, taking all the necessary precautions, social distancing and cleaning all the tables in the bar areas each time a party leaves and another group comes in, you know. So fingers crossed it's been okay and it's been getting controlled very well. And the people have been really nice too, you know. So, you know, it's... hopefully we can go back soon. But you're playing in Jersey at the moment. You still doing
a little bit, not much. Right now, it's definitely slower than it was.
Yeah. I mean, because that's opening.
But you know, it'll get back.
I think different states are opening
it'll come
more than others. You know.
Yeah, so up here is not really quite there yet, but we'll get there.
Yeah,
you know?
we will. Yeah, just glad to be back. You know, because it was a rough,
exactly.
It was a rough year last year. You know.
Yeah.
So where can everyone find you online, and how can they download your music? Because you know you've got some great songs there, and I've noticed since I went back to work, there's very few people now buying the CDs because I've still got my albums for sale at gigs and stuff, and I've noticed because the Alexa and everything now on the Spotify and everything, you know, there's a lot of people are streaming now. I've noticed the difference because the CD was always an impulse buy anyway. Very rare I do it online, and I don't know about yourself.
Exactly.
You know, but so where can they find you online? Website?
I mean, I think easy is just iTunes, Enda Keegan music, just Enda Keegan or EndaKeegan.com. It's ENDAKEEGAN.com.
Okay, there, folks. There, EndaKeegan.com, iTunes, all the usual platforms like
the usual places. Yeah,
Amazon and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you playing this song. This is the last track we're going to play of your stuff, and it's. I remember you playing it at Rosie's with Brian, and I remember you telling the story. One of these days.
Yeah, it's just this is just really about people that immigration. I mean, I think people always want to be able to go home, but sometimes don't have the ability to go home.
From America, yeah.
Yep, that's what the song's about. It's just like people would love to be able to go home if the circumstance would allow it.
Yep.
And the song's really just about that. It's just one of these days I'm going to go home.
One of these days. One of these days. One of these days. I'll be home. One of these days. One of these days. One of these days. I'll be home. I wasn't born to be illegal. Never thought I'd run and hide. I never asked for much now, just to live a normal life. Just to wake up in the morning and hear the blackbirds sing. Watching daybreak over the mountains, just a few simple things. One of these days I will be free, living my life just how I please, watching the coast of Galway below. One of these days, one of these days, I'll be home. So waited up in Shannon, so much racing through my mind, contemplating my decision. behind. There was promise of great fortune and cities paved with dreams. As I'm staring out the window, watching Ireland disappear. One of these days I will be free, living my life just how I please, watching the coast of going below. One of these days, one of these days, I'll be home. One of these days, one of these days, one of these days, I'll be home. One of these days, so one of these days, and before, one of these days, I'll be home. One of these days, I will be free. One of these days, how I please. One of these days, I'll be home. One of these days, one of these days, one of these days, I'll be
Another great song from Mr. Enda Keegan. That's from The Bridge. You can find Enda on iTunes, Amazon Music, or at his website, endakeegan.com, ENDAKEEGAN. On Facebook, yeah. Get him on Facebook, yeah. He's on my Facebook. Last time I saw you was just over 2 years ago. I was playing the bitter end, and we got there Saturday morning. We came home Tuesday with the boys, 6 of us. My gig was half an hour. And we come to see you in Rosie's on a Saturday night. I told the guys, I was with some of them last night, and they all said to tell you hello. Glenn says hello, Dave Martin says hello, Phil Bentley, owner of Waxies, says hello,
that
and
was
Anton
one night,
too.
That was a really good night.
It was a good night, wasn't it? Yeah. And ended up getting up and playing a few songs as well, yeah.
And how is Adam doing?
Adam, I forgot, Adam went to see you too, yeah. Adam Cruz, yeah. Really good guy. Helped me out big time last year, actually. Yeah. Really good guy, yeah.
Really good guy.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Adam went on a separate weekend. He was with his missus. I think he went to see you.
Yeah, exactly. He got up.
Yeah, he called me and he said, you know, some people in New York. I said, go and see my buddy Enda, go and see Enda Keegan, and he did. And he said he got up and played a couple of songs. Well, Enda, my friend, been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. It's been a while.
I know, man. I haven't seen you this long in how many years?
I know, yeah. Wow. Well, it's been about 2 years, I think, last time I saw you in New York. Yeah,
physically actually looking at you.
Man,
thank you so much for letting me do this.
Hey, man, thanks for joining us. And best of luck with your music and upcoming shows. Love to the family. And,
thanks, but yeah, I'm working on a New Jersey Summer Shore song, so I'm hoping to get that out in the next couple of months.
You are?
Yeah,
okay.
I've been working on it for about a couple of months, so I'm hoping to get it out live and record it. So.
Let us know, man. We can play it on the show.
Yes, we need something to keep us going for down by the water here.
And thank you so much, buddy. Love to the family. I'll speak soon. Thanks for joining us. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.